runner-up trophy here at the 3A state tournament. That group of seniors will come out together to accept it.
We now present the 3A state championship trophy to the state champion, Morgan Trojan.
And now the athletic director, Cade Morrell, holds it high for Morgan as they raise it up. Their 5th all-time boys basketball state title. What a season the Trojans have had.
Yeah, their only loss was to Green Canyon, 68-67. And of course, Green Canyon was ranked number 1 all year long in the 4A and lost to Payson in a very close game last week.
And they unleashed the Morgan student section to come out onto the court and celebrate with their team. Mason Williams held the trophy high as the student section comes out to celebrate at center court. (47-32) your final in this 3A boys state championship game. As they celebrate and get ready to cut down the nets, we'll take a break and come back with your final stats in this one in our Sunrise Engineering postgame show on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom and KSL Sports.
Jones and DeMille Engineering was founded with a simple mission to shape the quality of life with a personalized touch. As a full-service civil engineering firm, they provide value beyond the project, creating places where people live, work, and thrive. For over 40 years, they've proudly served our communities, enhancing lives through their work. Join their team and become a dedicated community improvement leader. Whether you're an engineer or just love infrastructure, they invite you to seek a career with them. Jones and DeMille Engineering, shaping the quality of life.
Mountain View Vision has moved to a bigger, better location, 1166 South SR 118, next to Maurice's. More parking, more frames, same trusted care. Doctors Richard Yardley and Preston Judy, along with 14 professionals and 5 specialists, provide top-quality eye care for all of Central Utah. Pediatric exams, advanced dry eye treatment, specialty contacts, diabetic care, and ocular disease management. New location, same phone, 435-896-5671. Mountain View Vision. Better vision starts here.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Mountain Land Supply of Richfield is the Central Utah leader in plumbing, waterworks, turf, and ag irrigation. Mountain Land Supply features an entire line of Rainbird sprinklers and systems for your yard or commercial property and backs it up with an extremely knowledgeable staff that cares about the local community because they live here. Visit them at 2104 South Red Hills Drive in Richfield or call for a showroom appointment 435-896-9606. Mountain Land Supply is proud to sponsor high school sports and wishes the teams, coaches, and players success.
Live high school sports action on Centricom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
The Morgan Trojans celebrate their 5th all-time boys basketball state championship at center court here at the UCCU Center at Utah Valley University with a 47-32 win over the Richfield Wildcats. This is the Sunrise Engineering postgame show serving communities for over 40 years. Learn more at sunrise-eng.com. And Rick, your takeaway from this one?
Well, I have nothing but good things to say about both these teams, but Richfield, just a lot of heart, and Morgan just made more shots. The one player, Saunders, was certainly a difference maker. He made some tough shots, and he made from outside, from inside, and Richfield couldn't quite contain him. Everybody else is pretty even. Richfield just needed somebody to try and get a hot hand, and it just wasn't meant to be tonight, but I'm still proud of the Richfield team. They're just, I'm going to miss a lot of those athletes, and the community was terrific. They were supported both from Morgan and Richfield. The student section was terrific, and it was just a fun atmosphere. other than if you're rooting for one team and the other, your team lost, you're going to be sad. But we were treated to a talented game.
Yes, we were, and what a game played by the Morgan Trojans. Coach Hunt going to work his way over here inside the Sunrise Engineering postgame show. We'll get his thoughts on today's game as, again, they get their 5th all-time state title. He's bringing Bracken Saunders over with him. What a game played from Bracken Saunders as he finishes with 26 points here today for Morgan to help lead them to this state championship. As Coach Hunt trying to work his way over, getting hugs and high fives all around from everybody he passes along the way. And so we'll get Coach Hunt's thoughts here on the game here and on this season. Coach, congratulations on the win, and thanks for hopping on here. First off, just your quick reaction, takeaway from this game, a very physical game tonight.
Well, we knew it was going to be physical. That's what Richfield's got to do. We mentioned that in our pregame interview. And we had to match your physicality. Early in the game, both teams, high emotion, brains running just a little too fast for the moment, but this kid right here beside me, second half, just put us on his back and carried us, man. We tried to give him the ball as much as we could, and he delivered. That kid's a stud. He had 56 points the last 2 games. He's the real deal, and we're lucky to have him. We got him for 1 more year, so man, we're so happy to have number 5 on our team. But I thought we settled down better the second half. We knew we would. At halftime, we just mentioned, hey, we're good. We just got to play Morgan basketball. Got to slow our heads down a little bit. And I thought they did a great job with that. Our defense was solid. I thought rebounding was going to be a big key. We didn't get all the rebounds, but we got our share. We got enough to get some stops. So it was a great job by our crew. Mason Williams and Nate Pace don't get a lot of publicity, but they're workers down there in the paint getting rebounds. I thought Nate had a great job on the boards tonight, just battling. But this kid packed us. Number 5, Bracken Saunders. What can you say, man?
That 19 second half points, finishes with 26 in the game for Bracken Saunders. Coach, first off, let's look at those 3 seniors that you've got on this team: Colton Macy, Nate Pace, and Ben Russell. What have they meant to your program?
Everything. Nate is a glue guy. He's just a guy that does the dirty work. He's in there. We challenged him to be a rebounder tonight, and he gave everything he had on the boards. You didn't get them all, but he made a difference on the boards. He's a kid that will get on the floor. He got on the floor all year long with loose balls. Richfield's so quick and athletic, man. They get there quick. They beat us to a lot of loose balls, but we were in there scrapping, and that's what we need to do. So Nate, we love Nate. He's a big part of our program. Ben Russell comes off the bench, and, he had to sacrifice a little bit because initially he didn't come out to play. He missed the first 4 or 5 games. And then, or 3 or 4, I don't know what it was, but I called him up, or actually sent him a text, and I said, hey, if you still want to come out, we got a spot for you. And he said, yeah, I'll do that. I said, probably won't start, but you okay with that? And he says, whatever you say, Coach. And he did such a good job for us on that, in that 6-man. Whenever he went out, the energy jacked up, and he usually gets some steals. And then Colton, what can you say, 80, 85, whatever the number of threes on the season. Now, tonight wasn't his night. He struggled shooting the ball, but, Colton was a guy all season long that we could count on. And they gave us that third weapon between Bracken, Jake Hansen, and Colton. They were a 3-headed monster offensively. So Colton was solid captain for us. All 3 of those seniors, we're going to miss them dearly.
When you look at your opponent tonight in Richfield, you talked about the physicality, but what did you see out of them?
Just that. They're physical. I mean, we kind of understood that they had some limitations offensively, and I'll tell you, Wayman, who was so hot last night, was not tonight. And we told our kids, too. I said, hey, Richfield looked awesome last night, but tomorrow's another game. Every game is an individual experience, and every game's different. You just never know. And Wayman struggled tonight, as did Colton. But without Wayman out there scoring the ball, then that limits some of their offensive capabilities. Now, they're really good at just crashing the boards and getting some offensive play. Yardley was good, but I thought we did a pretty good job overall in Yardley. I thought our defense overall was we gave up 30, whatever it was, points. I thought our defense was on point.
Yeah, a little bit slower pace, and you talked about it. You weren't worried about the pace, just worried about making sure you scored more.
Well, and I've told these guys, and they know, we planned and talked about the state championship game all year long. Almost every day in practice, we talked about being a champion in the state championship game. But I've told them the state championship game, more times than not, is a low-scoring game. Well, I've won 42-39. low-scoring games because of just what we experienced at the beginning of that game. Your emotions are pretty high, and that shot's a little tougher, and points are at a premium. And I thought tonight that's exactly what it was. But it was a low-scoring game. I'll grind it out. We'll grind it out. We got players. We'll grind it. So it was a fun win for us.
Well, Coach, I'll let you go be with your team, and we'll get Bracken's thoughts on the game. Thanks again.
Hey, thanks a bunch.
Once again, Coach Scott Hunt there of the Morgan Trojans inside the Sunrise Engineering postgame show. Now we'll get Bracken Saunders on as well. 26 points tonight, Bracken, 30 last night. Walk me through your state tournament here this week.
Monday I was sick with the flu, and then I just cleared right out and I was ready to go. I had a lot more energy these last 2 games and surrounded by great teammates, so it makes it a lot easier for me.
What was your mindset coming into the second half in a 1-point ball game?
Well, I couldn't hit a broadside of the bar in the first half, and coaches still believed in me, told me to keep shooting, so that's what I tried doing, and they fell.
When you look at the defense, Coach just talked about your defense a lot as a team here. How crucial was that for your team?
It's always big, defensive rebounding. I thought may have got beat on rebounding a little bit, but stops mean everything. Forcing turnovers, giving us extra possessions. It's all the game.
When you look at the game inside, how crucial was it for guys like Mason Williams and Nate Pace and being able to contest those shots when Richfield was able to get in the paint?
I think they're most underrated players, honestly, in Utah. With them, they do the biggest. They've blocked shots. You can't get past the Mason 6'5" and can jump and has longest wingspan you've ever seen. But without him, there's no way we win this game.
What about Jake running that point today?
Gosh, he's such a stud. That's all I can say about Jake. He's a stud. Looking forward. We got one more year together, and it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it.
Brody Peterson coming off the bench had 7 big points in the second half as well.
He's a Tasmanian devil. Little Wolverine is what we call him. He's a little firecracker. When you get him going, he'll roll.
You do lose those 3 seniors off your team. What have they meant to you?
The family now, It's going to be hard to play without them next year, but they're all going on missions to do bigger and better things, so we're excited for them, but we're going to miss them a lot.
Well, Bracken, you had a heck of a state tournament, heck of a championship game here. I'll let you get back and be with your team, but congrats on the win.
Appreciate you.
Once again, Bracken Saunders of the Morgan Trojans here inside the Sunrise Engineering postgame show. We'll take a break, come back and wrap up with our stats and also get your players of the game as well. Coming back here at the UCCU Center at Utah Valley University on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network and TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom and KSL Sports.
State Bank of Southern Utah is not just another bank. We are your neighbors, your friends, and your local financial partners, interested in building long-term relationships.
When you choose State Bank, you invest in our community. Your money stays here and is reinvested in friends and family, building Southern Utah.
Each one of our 17 branches is staffed and ready to serve you.
Come and experience the difference of true community banking at State Bank of Southern Utah.
Hi, I'm Barrett Hilton with TeamHive.live, where we've created a locally run video streaming platform for Utah schools. On our website, you're not going to wade through a bunch of unrelated content. You bring up TeamHive.live and you're just going to find a lot of high school sports and events. We've created tools that make it super easy for you to create events and stream to our site. And if you ever need help with anything, you can give me a call. So I want to invite your school to join the team. If you're a Utah high school, you can stream live on TeamHive. That's TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
Live high school sports action on Centricom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back here to the UCCU Center as the Morgan Trojans continue to cut down the nets with the 3A state championship won 47-32 over Richfield. Let's go now to our Sorensen Levitt Insurance stat check. Visit them in Richfield or Salina for your home, auto, and business insurance needs. Proudly representing Auto Owners Insurance. Call Corey Sorensen in Richfield at 896-4471 or Sina Rasmussen in Salina at 529-7471. And first off for Morgan as they get the win, Bracken Saunders, 26 points, 5 rebounds. And Coach Hunt talked about it. You talked about it, Rick. Bracken Saunders certainly was the difference.
Oh, yes, and he's going to be the MVP of 3A. No question about it. Just a junior. But he did everything tonight. He hit from outside, hit from inside, and he had a similar game against Juab last night. And he just was a difference tonight. He was impressive. I thought Richfield did a lot of good things. They just could not get someone to get that ball, just couldn't get in the hoop for him. And some nights you have those kind of games, and tonight, unfortunately for them, was one of those nights.
Back at those stats, Jake Hansen finishes with 10 points, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds for the Trojans. Brody Peterson, 7 points off the bench with 3 rebounds and 3 assists, and then 2 points for Colt Macy tonight for the Trojans. They end up shooting 35% from the field, 21% from 3, and they go a perfect 10 for 10 from the free throw line in this game, do the Morgan Trojans. On the Richfield side of things, 14 points for Gage Yardley. That was a team high tonight for Yardley. He had a great game with 6 rebounds, 9 points and 8 rebounds from Alec Fountain. 5 points for Hudson Spell with 13 rebounds and a couple of steals. 4 points for Jorgen Southwick with 2 rebounds and 2 blocks in the game for Richfield. Richfield shot just 23% from the floor, 19% from 3, and only 25% from the free throw line.
Yeah, but they only shot 4 foul shots, and the final 2 were when the game honestly was over. So the foul line was a non-factor for Richfield tonight. Maybe it was the fact they didn't get to the foul line, and it just a tough night for him shooting. And I credit Morgan's defense. I thought when Morgan got a couple blocks in the middle, Richfield was a little hesitant, for understandable, to go up with shots in the middle, which normally they would take.
Yeah.
And Gage Yardley, he sensed that, and Gage really kept this team in the game.
Yes, he did. Richfield ends up winning the rebound battle 33-26 over Morgan, and 16-9 on the offensive glass for Richfield. And then turnovers, both teams did a really good job in the second half. Richfield had 10 at the half. They finished with 14, and Morgan had 5 at the half. They finished with 7 in the game.
Yeah,
the difference was the ability to get the ball to go through the hole in this one.
Yeah, and there's 2 fun teams. They're just fun to watch, and Morgan was heavy favorites, and they end up winning it. But Richfield would have to shoot better in order to win this game. But Richfield did all the right things to get here, and that's a really, really good Richfield team also.
Yes, it is. Other stats to look at: 3 lead changes, 4 ties in this game. Richfield's largest lead was 5, and Morgan's largest lead was 15. They end up winning by 15, 47-32. Rick, let's go to our Golden Drug Player of the Game. Your community compounding pharmacy at 508 North Main in Richfield, and they honored to serve Sevier and surrounding counties. Golden Drug thanks to their customers. First off, the whole senior class, obviously a great job, but tonight Gage Yardley was just phenomenal.
Yeah, and Gage, that's a no-brainer with Gage. I thought he was terrific, and again, that's kind of what he does. He senses what the team needs. If they need point guard, I thought last night he knew they didn't need his points, and he didn't try to put points. And tonight he knew they needed his points. It was just a struggle, and he did a great job.
And on the Morgan side, clearly Bracken Saunders.
Oh, there's no question there. Yeah, he was the difference.
For the White Sanitation and On-the-Go Services sub of the game. Again, contractors and outdoor event planners can find sanitary portable restrooms for any situation and garbage and dumpster services for any applications. Call White Sanitation at 896-9212. For Richfield, they really just went to Jorgen Southwick in this game. So Jorgen Southwick, certainly the sub of the game for Richfield. On the Morgan side, Brody Peterson brought a huge lift both defensively and offensively for the Trojans.
Yeah, he played really hard. And, I credit their bench. They did some things they needed to, help them, kept the pressure on Richfield. Richfield never had a possession where they didn't have some kind of pressure. They might have had just a few the whole evening.
Yeah. And then for the Diamond W auction, key play of the game, is there any key play that stands out to you, Rick?
Well, I think the three-point shot by Saunders when he made that first one in the second half was really key. It just got a momentum. Saunders just did the things that Morgan needed.
Yeah, big game for Bracken Saunders as he finishes with 26 points. And that's going to pretty well do it for us here at the UCCU Center as the Trojans are wrapping up, cutting down the nets. They're slowly working their way through it, giving every player the opportunity to be able to have their piece of the net here to celebrate the state championship win. Again, 5 all-time, their first since 2019. And for Richfield, the 1988 still looms as the last boys basketball state title, and they will continue to fight to try to snap that drought for the Richfield Wildcats. A great team effort here tonight by both teams. A great career and season again by Richfield's players, and Morgan able to get just one more win here down the stretch. 47-32 is your final in this game. Rick, as we get ready to wrap up our coverage, any final thoughts on the day, on the week, and the season?
I just need to say thank you You do a great job with being next to Barrett. What a professional he is. The great things he does. I give Doug Barton and Mid-Utah Radio, I can't say enough good things about the opportunity I have to be a part of this. And all those other announcers and producers, and I'm sure you'll name most of them, and camera people been with your boys. It's an honor to be there and to help bring this back to the community. I want to say thank you.
No, thank you, Rick, and we appreciate, as we mentioned, all of those that have helped put this broadcast on, including all of our great sponsors around the state of Utah that help bring you coverage of high school sports. And a wave of the net from Coach Hunt as he cuts down the final string to celebrate for the Morgan State Championship. But again, Barrett Hilton running the controls here in these championship games and all week long, last week as well at 2A. Appreciate Joe Williams, Adam Coombs, Cole Wissinger was with us this week, Kyler Jensen, Alex Doss, Daxton Lovell, Jefferson Penrod, Colton Lovell, and Jordan Hilton showed up here at the end to help out as well. And then appreciate guys back in the studio, Jason Pipes, Bo Lund, Doug Barton, as Rick mentioned, and then all the guys that help bring you the coverage on the air, Tanner Wilkinson, Rick Robinson, Dustin Shakespeare, Greg Sterner, and Dylan Douglas all do a fantastic job. We appreciate all their efforts to help bring you this coverage of the state tournament here at Utah Valley University. Once again, the Morgan Trojans cut down the nets. They are the 2025 3A boys basketball state champions with a 47-32 win over Richfield. I'm Robert Lovell. Thank you for listening and watching, and have a great week, everybody.